In today's video, we are going to talk about Squarespace's SEO AI tools. In the summer of 2025, Squarespace added an SEO panel to everyone's website, and this panel has changed a little bit over time. There's a new AI visibility tool, and I will say these tools are still a little bit buggy, but they can be helpful for making sure that all of your metadata and alt text are populated. So today I'm going to show you how these tools work, and I'm going to be straight up about what I like and don't like about them. If you're new here, my name is Shauna, and I am a Squarespace web designer in New York City. I create websites and website templates for service-based solopreneurs and people doing good work in the world. Now let's dive in. So the first thing I want to point out is that this tab is going to look a little bit different depending on whether your website is still in a trial or whether you have purchased a Squarespace subscription. So if you've purchased a subscription, you have access to this SEO AI visibility tool, and you'll see it here on this tab. And if you haven't purchased a subscription, you will not see access to that tool. Your tab will be called SEO AIO, and you will see this tool here with your SEO score and the metadata and the alt text, but that AI visibility part is missing. We're going to start here on this trial website that doesn't have any metadata or alt text maintained, so I can show you how this first tool works. Now, this SEO score is just indicating whether or not you've got all of your metadata and alt text populated. It's not saying you have good SEO on your website. It's not saying you've done all the things that you should do for SEO on your website. And if you scroll down on this tab, there are some other pointers and information about other things that you want to maintain for good SEO on your website and connect your website to Google Search Console. So I'm not going to get into all of these other details here today. Just know that this score doesn't mean that your website necessarily has great SEO. Now, if you're not sure what this metadata is, this is referring to the SEO titles and descriptions that you should maintain for all of the pages on your website. If I hop over here to some Google search results for my website, what you see displayed are my SEO titles, and then underneath that are my SEO descriptions. Now, sometimes Google is just going to pull some words off the site and not the description that you maintain, but you definitely want to maintain a description so that hopefully it will pull what you actually maintain. And you want to create good descriptions and good titles so that people know what they would be getting if they click on the title and go through to your website. Now, I'm personally not a huge fan of this tool, and I'll explain why when we get into it, but I will show you how to use it and definitely use it at your own risk. So up here, we have an optimize button, and then if you click on either of these arrows, it's going to do the exact same thing as this optimize button, which is pull up the tool to maintain your metadata and your alt text. So I'm just going to click this arrow here. You've got a little disclaimer saying that if you move forward, you're agreeing to the terms of using this Squarespace AI. So I'm going to click OK. And now Beacon AI is doing its thing. It's scanning the site. And it always starts with the metadata. You cannot jump to the alt text. You have to start with the metadata. And what it's doing is pulling up all of the pages on your website that are missing metadata. And there are some buggy things here because you might have some pages that are already set to not show up in search results. So they don't need titles and descriptions, but they're still showing up in this tool. And if you have some folders maintained that have pages underneath them, like maybe a drop down in your header, and so the pages are underneath, but that drop down is just a placeholder, you will find that here in your metadata tool. And you don't need a description and title for that. Again, there's some buggy things, which is why I'm not crazy about this tool. So we have some pages displayed with the titles and descriptions that AI has come up with for your pages. If you like it, you can just keep it. If you don't like it, you can edit it manually, or you can regenerate it and have AI try something else. And today it is jumping down when I click regenerate, so I have to scroll back up. Now, I'm just not crazy about these titles. It does this like salesy thing after the page, and I just don't like it. So I'm going to take that out. I just want to go with contact. And note that if you have in your overall search appearance settings that you want your site title to appear at the end of all of your page titles, that is going to happen, but it's not displayed here. So I'm going to show you that afterwards and how you would know if that's going to happen. But that's another reason I don't like this tool, because it's not showing you that it might tack your name or your business name to the end here. And so you could make this way too long. But I'll show you that in a minute. What you would do here is just scroll through all of your pages and regenerate them or edit them as needed. And when you have all your pages maintained the way you would like them to be, you go ahead and click next, and then your alt text will come up. And for some reason, it's jumping to the bottom. So let me scroll up here. What you see here are all the images that are missing alt text, and the AI has generated a description for them. Just like in the metadata tool, you can regenerate it to come up with something new, or you can edit it to update it yourself. A couple of points I will make here. I think this alt text is too specific. If someone is using a screen reader to understand what your website is saying, they are getting this alt text read to them. They don't necessarily need to know that this is an elderly woman with long gray hair wearing white pajamas. They need to understand the context of this photo on your website. So first of all, if that's a picture of you, it should have your name in there, but the AI isn't smart enough to figure that out, not currently. So you definitely want to put your name and what you do instead of an elderly woman with long gray hair. And you don't necessarily need all of these details. You want to think about the context and what someone would need to know if they're getting this page read to them. So keep that in mind. That is advice for alt text. So you might want to modify this a little bit, but it can give you a good head start. So you're going to go through all of this alt text and update it and tweak it as needed. And when you're done, you're going to click save. And the tool is going to populate all of the metadata and alt text on your website. And now you have a 100% score. Now, let me quickly show you how you would know if your website is set up to put your site title at the end of all the page titles. So let me hop over to pages. And on each of your pages, you have this gear icon, which has the page settings. If I go in here to the SEO tab, this is where you maintain your SEO titles and descriptions if you were to do it manually. It's also where you would come in and tweak them if you change your mind later, because you can't go back into that metadata tool once it's populated. Then this is where you have to go to change it. So if I look up here at my preview, I see that it's adding my site title to the end of my page title. Now, if you wanted to change that, let me show you how you would do that. One way is you go into your home page and click on the gear setting here. And if I go to my SEO tab and scroll down, notice that I cannot maintain my title and description here. I have this link to go to website SEO settings. That's because your home page is the most important page on your website. And so there's a special place to maintain that overall site title and description. So I'm going to click that here, and I get to this search appearance tab. So this is not only where I maintain my overall website site title and description if I need to tweak it. There are also some other settings here for your pages and your items. So if I just scroll down here and look at my site title and site description, this is what the AI tool generated for us. And the %S is pulling in my overall site title, which for this website is Gloria Green. So the %S means it's going to pull in my site title, and then AI added this to the end, which I hate. I would replace that with maybe what you actually do. So maybe you're a career coach, that would be a good idea. And then we've got our description here. We could actually regenerate this again, just right here, and overwrite that. This is the only place where you can use AI on an individual description. Now let's hop over here to the Pages tab. This is where the format is set for your page site titles. So this is where it's saying take the page title and add the site title to the end, and it's going to put a dash in between. So I actually like to change my dash to a pipe, so I might change that. And this is where you can take out the %S if you don't want your site title at the end of all of your pages. And then over here on items, your items are referring to your blog posts, your events, your products, your portfolio items. Any pages that are in a collection are referred to as items in the search appearance tab. And here I actually like to remove the site title, because think about your blog posts. They're very long, and putting a site title on the end is just going to make them too long. So I typically take this off, but it depends on what you've got on your website. So if you are selling products, you might actually want your site title on the end. So this is something you need to think about, but this is how you would maintain that here. And then I click save, and it has updated my settings. Now, finally, let's get to this AI visibility tool. We're back on my website because I have a subscription. I have completed all of my SEO activities here, so I have a 100% score. Good for me. Also notice that once you start adding your metadata and alt text, this optimize button changes to SEO settings. And this is another way that you can get to this search appearance tab. So let's close out of this. And now let's jump into AI visibility. So what this tool is going to do is it's going to create some prompts that it's going to feed into ChatGPT and see if your website shows up. So let's go through this together. I haven't done it for my website yet. So up here, it's saying that your visibility score can't be configured because you have not yet fed your prompts into ChatGPT. So down here in the AI visibility tool, I'm going to check my results. I'm going to agree to these terms, and this tool is currently in beta. I'm going to click OK. And here it's just explaining what it's going to do. It's going to create some prompts and it's going to run them through ChatGPT. I'm going to click this generate button and it's going to create some prompts for me. The first set of prompts are branded prompts, which means they include my business name in them to see how my business is showing up specifically. You can remove some of these prompts. You can add new prompts if you like. I'm just going to go with whatever it's come up with here. I'm going to click next. And now it's creating some non-branded prompts. So if someone just types into ChatGPT, how can I find a good web designer? How can I find an affordable web designer? And it's generated some prompts. Again, you could add more prompts. You could remove the prompts that are here. I'm just going to click finish and go with these. And here are my results. So if I scroll down in this tool, I can see for each prompt, was I mentioned in ChatGPT's response or not? Here I can see which type it is, whereas my branded or non-branded prompt. And for my non-branded prompts, it would show me which position I showed up in. Now, I was mentioned in 4 of my branded prompts, but I wasn't mentioned in this 5th branded prompt, which is interesting. And then down here on my non-branded prompts, I'm not showing up at all. So for these very general prompts, which were created from content on my website, so I make websites for solo entrepreneurs, but if you were to prompt ChatGPT for that, apparently I'm not coming up. Now, I will tell you that multiple people have told me they have found me on ChatGPT or Claude, so I know I'm out there somewhere in some sort of prompt, but not these particular prompts. Now, if I click in on any of these prompts, I can see what ChatGPT actually said in response to this prompt. So you can read through this, and this is pulling right from your website, but if it's not saying what you would like it to say, then you might want to update your website to make sure it's giving the correct information. And if I click through on a non-branded prompt, we'll just pick this one for now. I'm not mentioned in this prompt, but I can see who is mentioned. So which of my competitors are showing up and what is ChatGPT saying about them. Also very interesting information so that you can make sure that you have the right information on your website in case that's maybe why you're not coming up. Now, obviously, these are very big companies. They are going to be more likely to show up than I am for these particular prompts, but maybe there's more specific prompts where I would show up. And I'm just going to show you another example for one of my clients where I ran this tool. And this client did much better than I did on all of these prompts. This is a nonprofit in Hoboken, New Jersey that advocates for responsible use of cannabis. So they came up for all of their branded prompts, and here's an example of one of their non-branded prompts where we can see what ChatGPT returned, what they said about the different organizations and about Hoboken for Responsible Cannabis. And here I can see that Hoboken for Responsible Cannabis ranked 4th in position and who else is showing up. So this is really good information to have. And you can rerun this tool every 14 days. It says here that you can track how you perform over time. It's unlikely that this tool is going to track your historical positions. I would guess that it refreshes. I haven't run it again in 14 days, but it would show you your new positions and you could track offline to see how things had changed. Now, if I arrow back out of this tool, we'll do it here on my client's website, you can see the overall score for your AI visibility. And then up here, you can see your overall search visibility score. So for my client, they got a 98%, which is excellent. And this is incorporating both the AI visibility and the SEO score. And if you move your cursor over this question mark here, you can see the descriptions of the different scores and what percentage gets you a different score. And if you want to learn more about how to improve your AI visibility or your overall SEO, Squarespace does have a lot of resources so you can learn more about it. So if I click here on Learn More, There's an article here from Squarespace about optimizing your site for AI-powered search engines. And then if you scroll down on this tab, there's also more resources here down below provided by Squarespace. And notice that on this AI Visibility tab on a website where I've already done a lot of SEO work, you don't see a lot of those other resources. You're not seeing my analytics panel here. There's just a lot less information on this tab because I've already completed all those SEO activities. So that's a quick tour of Squarespace's SEO AI visibility tools as they work today. There are some good things about them and some not so great things about them. And there's lots of different resources out there to improve the SEO on your Squarespace website. Squarespace is great for SEO. You just need to know how to optimize your website so that it shows up in search results. And I'll link to a couple more resources below that I think are great resources to improve the SEO on your overall website, and some other tools that I use for my SEO as well. Hopefully you found this video helpful. If so, please like and subscribe below so more people can find my content.